tongues of fire. Things were like sparking on these people with a light. Hello? They call it tongues of fire. That's all they could do. Because they don't know electricity and so on wasn't invented and all those things. I'm not saying it was electricity, but they were trying to explain that as the Holy Ghost fell in this place, it's like if people were on fire. It looks as though their head started to got like a flame of fire. I believe it's something very electric. It's not something normal. It was not just a casual, even a casual beginning of praying in tongues. It was a supernatural experience, and everybody could see. Everybody was affected. Are you there? Everybody knew that it wasn't just one brother or one sister. Everybody in the house was sparking. Everybody in the house had like tongues. The Bible says like fire was resting on their heads.
Amen.
And they all started to go off in different tongues. It was an awesome experience. In verse 14, it was a big noise, and thank God it was like a Mashamani day, and so a lot of people were in tongue. A lot of Jews were in tongue, and this place apparently was a well-presented place. Was not no place far back by the block or anything. It was somewhere probably out more on a Regent Street kind of a location. And the noise started to go around and say, "Hey, you hear they got big noise in the house at the corner?" And they said, "What happened there?" "I don't know, but there's a whole set of people, and the people jumping up and hollering, and some if it's like they're on fire, all kind of thing. I don't know is what. People sending for fire brigade, people doing, so a big pandemonium broke out, and people started to come to see what was happening. Now I'm going to jump forward because of time. And by now, Peter, who had begun, he recognized in his spirit that this was that which Jesus said was going to happen. He didn't know what was going to happen. He didn't understand what was going to happen, but he recognized that this was what Jesus said had to happen, and it just happened. And so he stood up in verse 14, and he says, children, stay with me here. He said, but Peter standing up, others mocking and said, the people drunk, and so on. And so this was not no quiet, little prayer meeting in the corner. This thing was very, very, very visible and audible. I don't want to say it was raucous, but it was a big pandemonium. Wasn't anything quiet. And they said, well, it looked like all them drunk inside them, huh? There's a whole set of drunk people. So I don't know if you could imagine 120 drunk people. I mean, you could imagine one person drunk is pandemonium, but you can imagine 120 drunk people. So just to give you an idea. But Peter, standing up with the 11, so Peter calls the other apostles, and he sets up, first of all, formation. Somebody say formation.
Formation.
If anything happening by the Spirit has to comply with formation. Hello? The Spirit of God can throw us out and take us out into a zone that we lose control in the sense of ourselves. But as soon as the Holy Spirit has completed what he needs to do, he returns you to a place of control. This is why the Bible says that the Spirit is subject to the prophet. There is no way where you cannot stop prophesying by the Holy Ghost. There is no way where you cannot stop yourself because you're under the Holy Ghost. Because the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. This spirit that comes, he would lick you out of this church, and God forbid, it's not in a terrible sense. You can get slain. But the minute he is finished, God, he doesn't do that to demonstrate that you or the pastor or anything is holy. He does that because there's a work that needs to be done in your life. And the minute that work is completed, he returns you to a state of control. You can't be praying in tongues and you can't stop. That's not the Holy Ghost. Now Paul says, I thank God I pray in tongues more than all of you. And there are times when you can go by yourself and pray in tongues long. But if somebody's calling you on the phone, you can't be or you're trying to no, that's not Holy Ghost. Your mother calling you, your daughter calling you, your husband calling you, your wife calling you, shut up. That's not no Holy Ghost. You just stop speaking. Yeah, girl, what's the problem? Okay, good. All right. Listen, I need another 10 or 20 minutes. I'll talk to you just now. And go back and pray in your tongues. Some people get very giddy when the Holy Ghost gets a hold of them. They kind of like lose control. I can't stop.